Good morning. Good morning. Can I just say, I came in this morning and I don't know who this lot are. I just came in and here they were. And I heard them speaking with Welsh accents, so I was slightly afeard to say you better go. Anyway, you're very welcome. Actually, this morning is a very special day. As well as being Palm Sunday, we have Choral here with us today, which is the blues choir from Wales. Blues as in Cardiff Blues, rugby. Sorry about the Triple Crown, but I wasn't going to mention it, but you never can miss an opportunity, can you? And I'd like to say to you, as well as saying welcome to Belfast in English, Fáilte gan Belfast Choral, which is Gaelic, and wait for it, Croeso I Belfast. And now I'm going to invite Trevor. Trevor, would you come up and, because this is all your fault.
Thank you, Chris. Now, yes, indeed, you're very welcome. The Cardiff Blues Choir, Cor a Glestrong, I think it's an SH, I'm not sure. Is it? Very good. And anyway, we'll be singing for the rest of the service in English. Did they tell you that? Yeah, they did. But I do believe we have one exception to our worship in English later. And we have a little Welsh. Not from me. Now, the choir will be singing 6 of their chosen items, which they sent me some time ago. We've built them into the service, singing them in 2 sets. And we're looking forward to that very much. But also, they're giving us a great lead in the 3 congregational hymns. Now, our own congregation, you will have to sing up strongly today to compete, let me tell you. But it should be a wonderful worship experience. Just 1 or 2 little things to note. There will be a couple of verses which we will sing unaccompanied, a cappella. So don't be waiting for the organ to start. So kind of watch me and I'll bring you all in. And the second thing is that in the final hymn, Love Divine, All Love's Excelling, and what did you think of me choosing your favourite Welsh tune for that? Blanwern. Didn't I do well? Yeah. And in that hymn, the last verse is unison, so I'm going to give you a very strong lead, but we're going to repeat the last 4 lines of that verse. So the audio-visual crew will keep it on the screen, even though you've just sung it, right? So go back to changed from glory into glory, that part, and we repeat those last 4 lines. We're actually going back into harmony at that stage. Now, that's all the things I want to say. So welcome to the choir, and welcome to Richard Fawn and Rihanna, the musical director and accompanist. Very important people, okay? So enjoy the service, and you'll probably find it somewhere on YouTube in due course. Well, in a few hours, probably.
And I would like to say to our guests as well that there will be food on the table here on my right-hand side and also on my left-hand side. So if you just bear with us at the end of the service, the tables will be full and plentiful with food and with coffee and tea. Well, as I mentioned, this is Palm Sunday, and it's when we remember that Jesus entered into Jerusalem, and he was welcomed by the people of Jerusalem. And they welcomed him into their hearts with his very specific message, a message of love. And only 2 weeks ago, I was in Jerusalem with Magen David Adom, which is the Jewish Red Cross. And we walked together on the steps where Jesus entered into Jerusalem. And we hope again at this time of year to renew that message of love, that message of peace, which is badly needed at this time. We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit, seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe, who come to explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome, who enter this building as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in these people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. Amen. And now may we sing together our first hymn in the Red Book 158, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross.
Cross,
slight logistical problem here. Sue is our reader, but I know, is that microphone going to be a problem for you there? Are you sure? Because I know you don't want to be picked up on your own.
Well, good morning and welcome. It's so lovely to see you all. And here we are, as Chris has said, Palm Sunday, and we reflect on Jesus, or Yeshua, riding on a donkey, but it wasn't a war horse, into Jerusalem. Just before Passover or Pesach, we note that Jesus didn't have a smile on his face, even though the people were cheering and laying down palms for the donkey to ride over. Jesus knew his life was coming to a close. Perhaps this gives us an opportunity this morning to take a moment, to take a pause, to think of our own humanness. Our world today remains similar to Jesus' world. We still experience war, hatred, suffering, despair, and love and joy. Recently, I had the honour to read a poem by Dorothy Hunt at a commemoration and reconciliation event at a military base in Buenos Aires for the 40th anniversary of the Malvinas Falklands conflict. I thought I would share this poem with you today as we reflect on Palm Sunday. Do you think peace requires an end to war? Or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss, your spouse, yourself? Do you think peace will come some other place than here, some other time than now? In someone's other heart, but not even yours, and yours. Peace is this moment without judgment, that is all. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace in this moment without thinking that it should be some other way and you should feel some other thing, that your life should be or unfold according to your plans. Peace in this moment without judgment. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace in this moment without judgment. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome.
Thank you, Sue. And before I hand over to the Cardiff Blues Choir, and I know Sue will be angry with me for doing this, I just want to mention that Sue served in Royal Navy nursing in the Falklands War and served in Royal Navy nursing in the Afghan War and was injured in Afghanistan and won a medal in the Invictus Games as well. And only recently Sue traveled to the Argentine with a number of ex-service people to take part in a service of remembrance with members of the Argentinian forces. So well done, Sue. Choir. And now may we sing together our second hymn, 145 in the Red Book, Ride on in Majesty. Now, instead of prayers, I've picked a blessing, Bannocht being the Irish word for blessing. And I've picked it from a book called Anam Cara. And Anam Cara is Gaelic for soulmate. And this book was written by Father John O'Donoghue, the late Father John O'Donoghue, Spiritual Wisdom from the Celtic World. And Father John O'Donoghue was a very creative, spiritual person who wrote many books. This was his first one, Anam Cara. Now, he was actually eventually silenced by the bishops. Now, anybody that's silenced by the bishops is good in my book. Because I know in Wales, you don't bother with bishops that much. It's all low church, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, this is Bannocht by John O'Donoghue. Osperla, which means in English, that's for your benefit. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulder and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the grey window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colours, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to bind your life. And now I'd like to invite Sheer Davis to read for us.
Bore da. The reading I have is a piece of music actually composed by the conductor of the choir, Richard Vaughan, and a former member of the choir, Ivan Edwin Plemming. And of course, this is our tour to Ireland 2022, originally scheduled for 2020. And we all know what happened in those 2 dark years in our times. So I thought this piece was very relevant because it's called Cerddwn drwy'r tywyllwch, which means we'll walk through the darkness. A song that was composed and the words written during the dark times of 2020 when choirs like us weren't allowed to meet. And we didn't venture down the Zoom route because, as you can imagine, there's over 100 of us in full members, so we didn't really have enough capacity on Zoom to accommodate everyone. But the words are in Welsh, and the synopsis is basically that everything was quiet, everything is silent, and despite the darkness around us, when we reach out and hold each other's hand and come together as we've done in the congregation today or as a choir, we will get through the dark times. Mae'r dref I gyd yn ddistaw, dim smic, does dim i'w wneud. Mae bwrlwm ddoi yn angof, heb wybod beth i'w ddweud. Daeth ofn I grwydro'n brywydd fel hebog yn ofri, heb rybydd ond ei gysgod tywyll di. Mae blodau cynta'n hafau yn egin yn y tir, a daw deinod y gwcw I ganu, daw cyn hir. Daw'r banadl I glecian ymysg yr eithin tlws, arwennol eto I nythu ger y drws. Bod heno'n noson dywyll, dal yn dyn yn fy llaw, fe gerddwn drwy'r tywyllwch, mae sicrwydd y wawr ger llaw. Rho'n law I helpu eraill, I gynnal baich y gwan, anghofio hunanoldeb a phawb yn gwneud i'r rhan. Tre'r carchar yma'n gyfle I ymladd ofn a braw, a'n dysgu ni I ddawnsio yn y glaw. Bod heno'n noson dywyll, dal yn dyn yn fy llaw, fe gerddwn drwy'r tywyllwch, mae sicrwydd y wawr ger llaw.
Thank you, Sheer. And just for those who don't get to see Welsh TV, he's the weatherman. And he usually gets it right. Gotcha. And now the choir. In Ephesians 5:19, it states, speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord. And that is what we are doing today, united as one, singing praise, singing together, singing in solidarity, singing as one voice. Music has a positive effect, not only on church worship, but on people in general. Music often prepares the heart of a congregation or football fans to receive the victory or the spoken word, whether it's in a sermon or whether it's in a poem or a blessing. The quality of the music and its message enhances the musical experience of all worship and all occasions. And does anybody sing better than the Welsh? We know the answer to that. The Irish and the Scots. I hadn't finished. The Irish and the Scots, we make good whiskey. And we think we're singing after drinking it. The English definitely make the best gins, but I don't know, do they sing? But the Welsh define what it means to sing, and to sing in community, which is the essence of life. It's the essence of our church here. The music is probably, well, no, I'm going to be modest. I don't do modesty very well. The music is the essential reason that people are here in this church. We also hear the songs from the football terraces that bind fans together in passionate support for their respective teams. And in many ways that is how you came together. Choral began, I understand, in 2006 to encourage rugby supporters to bring traditional songs back onto the terrace. And just as a point of information there, my wife is of Italian origin, but the debate between the home nations as to which has the best anthem in rugby is always only between two countries, Scotland and Wales. And it's my personal belief that Wales has the edge with Land of My Fathers. With Wales' impressive choral heritage, it is no surprise that their national anthem is just so powerful. The lyrics written by Evan James and the melody composed by his son, James James, in 1856. James James, that was a fascinating baptism, wasn't it? God, he was good at anthems. What happened there? What do we call him? What's his surname? James. What's wrong with that? James James. If you're ever looking for names, we've got lots here. This land of my fathers is dear to me, land of poets and singers and people of stature. Her brave warriors, fine patriots, shed their blood for freedom. Glard, glard, ply the ol of im glard. Land, land, I am true to my land. Now there are many wonderful things about Wales as well as their anthem and all the incredible people who have come from Wales. Their names just slip off our tongues. Dylan Thomas, Richard Burton, Sir Anto, and Sheer Davis, who reads the weather. Every time I see you, Cher. And of course, Nyron Nye Bevan, who was a Welsh Labour Party politician born into a working class family in South Wales. He was the son of a coal miner, and he left school at 13 and worked as a miner during his teens, where he became involved in a local union. And believe it or not, that was my job before I became a clergyman. I was a trade union official. You ask me, why did I stop? Because with clergymen, nobody comes back to complain. The NHS was born out of a long-held ideal that people like Nye Bevan contributed to, that good health care should be available to all, regardless of wealth. And Nye Bevan, Aaron Bevan, was the Minister for Health, who on the 5th of July, 1948, delivered the NHS. And we all owe gratitude to the NHS, particularly during those years of the recent pandemic. It had at its heart 3 core principles, and that was it was available to everybody, meted the needs of everybody, and was free at the point of delivery. And all of us, whether we're here in Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, or Wales, we cherish the NHS. So today, may I say to you, as people that had amongst your valleys and your hills and your cities, Nye Bevan, first of all, in the immortal words of ABBA, thank you for the music. And I know we're going to hear some more once you've had your refreshments. But also, from the bottom of all our hearts, I sincerely mean this. Thank you for Nye Bevan. Amen. And it's me again. It's a bit of a one-man band, this. Hard to get an apprentice nowadays. Now, before our final hymn, I just want to say that, just to remind you that there will be plenty of refreshments will appear like magic on those tables, and tea and coffee. So bear with us. And also, I believe, am I right, Trevor, that the choir are going to, after the refreshments, resume and sing a few more numbers for us. So please stay with us, everyone that's here this morning, to enjoy the rest of Choral Iglioson, the Cardiff Blue Choir. And I sincerely and genuinely mean this. You're the biggest choir we've ever had here. I never thought the church would be too small for anything. So we apologize for the cramped space. But it's a real honor and privilege and pleasure to have you here with us, and the great work you're doing, and the roots of your choir, what it grew out of, is incredible. So God bless you all, and thank you for being with us today. Thank you. And now may we sing together our final hymn, 56 in the Red Book, Love Divine, All Loves Excel.
Down
ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Its profession of faith, divine living. Amen. God bless you all. Go in peace.